Welcome everybody to Nine's Corner. It's Nina. It's nice to meet you. And if you're returning, welcome back, because my dear friends, my YouTube family, I need you. There is so much happening in the world. It is really, really hard. It's hard to keep your blood pressure down. I actually had somebody email me about blood pressure and if I had any ideas or any advice as to how to bring it down naturally. Now, they say, I'm on blood pressure pills. I have to take blood pressure. There was no amount of exercise or dieting or anything that was going to help me with my blood pressure. But some natural things that I do try doing some stretching, some walking, just getting a little cardio in. I try to eat bananas. I know sweet potatoes are supposed to be really good for you, but I can't do the sweet potatoes. I just don't like the sweetness in them. And meditation. Meditation is such a wonderful tool. And I get it. There's a lot of people who just can't get into meditation. They can't do it long enough to get into that Zen. But there is so many different forms of meditation that can help you. And for blood pressure specific, they say that meditation where you're focusing in on your breath, so you're really getting deep breaths into your diaphragm, can really help with blood pressure. And that could be for any one of us going through this really scary, fearful time, that if you're in a moment of panic, if you're just like, my God, the world's going crazy, and you're in the grocery store thinking, I can't do this, just take a deep breath. Even if you have to close your eyes, just go through your nose, out your mouth, and just release it, because there is so much tension and I can feel it. It's just so palpable all around us. The tension, the stress, the world is just teetering. So now that I've helped you control your blood pressure, let's do a reading about Donald Trump. I'm going to do a reading because I had already planned about doing a reading about Donald Trump and the effects of Russia's sanctions, because the sanctions that are on Putin and on Russia hurts the money, and that's the money that was flowing to Trump. So how is this affecting Trump? How is this affecting, behind the scenes, what's going on? Because we haven't looked at, with everything happening with Putin, what's the effect on Trump? Now, I know I even got an email asking me about Marie's dream. I'm going to go look at the video. Why they haven't already, what is that? I'm gonna find the picture and put it here. But it's the rule in the US where if you destroy documents or do anything of that sort when it comes to legal government papers, that you are not able to become president. So fine. If it's going to take forever and he's Teflon Don, and it gives me a headache to think about it. It really and truly gives me a physical headache. So at least just give us peace of mind to say, no, he can't run. That doesn't mean Trump Jr. can't. It doesn't mean Ivanka can't. Just let's eliminate Trump from running. Because with the way the world is going, we've talked about what's going on with Ukraine. We talked in our last reading about the fact that Zelensky's going to have to pick his battles and he might have to compromise. And now there's a lot of talk about compromise and the fact that he hasn't been allowed into NATO and all that. He's got to do something to save the people's lives. I bawled. So I'm going to give trigger warning. Trigger warning. Give me 30 seconds. If you don't want to hear this, just go 30 seconds ahead. I cried my eyes out because they were showing a video about Chinese traffickers trying to get across the border with Ukrainian children. 2 were caught. How many others? The horrors of this type of battle, this type of, it's just horrendous. Look into what is the effects on Trump now that Putin has sanctions, and Putin really just doesn't have time to be thinking or worrying or supporting Trump. What is the effect on Trump? So at the base, we have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is showing there's a real low morale happening in the Trump camp, around his family, his friends, his colleagues. Everybody and everything around him is swirling, and it doesn't feel good. There's a lot of arguing, there's a lot of tension, a lot of dysfunction, and this is definitely showing legal issues. Going across it, we have the Three of Wands. Well, I've got friends in low places. Going across it is the fact that, look, waiting for their ships to come in. So he has lost his support from Putin. He's lost his money coming from Putin. This is affecting him. This is money loss, ventures that he has that he's losing from. And, you know, this is loss not just to Trump, but to the others that were involved with him, at least 3 other entities, whether that be like Trump and Associates, Giuliani, what have you. And then you're also looking at the Republicans that supported Trump and that support Putin. Because, I mean, look what Tucker Carlson, I mean, I know he's not political, but like, what is he doing on television? He's a Russian, you know, kiss ours. But then there's a lot of, what was it? Remember back, oh God, it was back, there was a bunch of Republicans who went to Russia over the 4th of July. And I'm sure that their money, their support, their interests are not being held up here. So it's not just Trump, it's Trump and the people that have put themselves with Trump are being affected. So the support, his money, the things that he thought would help him, that's what's going against him. So underneath it, we have the King of Cups. So, okay. This could mean a couple of things. He's under a lot of pressure, the problems, the emotions, he's mentally unstable. This is also showing that there's a backup plan, and that's what he's dependent on. Because, I mean, think about it. His hotel, he was offered double the asking price by some unnamed person. So there's dark money and everything coming in. So he's worried about the money that would keep him stable. We got the Knight of Swords, the rushing in travel across, making his bed with Putin, making his bed with dictators, making his bed and rushing into relationships and with the very people that are affecting the world stage right now. On top of it, 6 of Swords. So he really wants to leave the trouble behind. He really wants to get away from the trouble. But he's also, his security is what's on top of his mind right now. And he doesn't know what to do with his money. I mean, Russia's not there, or Putin's not there to help him. He lost the Deutsche Bank and all that kind of stuff. So I think he's trying to figure out how to get away from this now because he's over his head. Ooh. In the very near future, 3 major heartaches, breakups are happening for Trump. Ooh. This is definitely affecting Trump's money. It's affecting Trump's standing, you know, with the people around him. This is hurting him, his family, his associates, the Republican Party. There is 3 major upsets coming for him. Just because it's there in the near future, just in case the stress, the worry, the everything of this could cause heart palpitations, heart attack. This could be the final nail in Trump's coffin of stress because he's emotionally unstable. So at the base of it, we got the 9 of Wands. He's still holding on. He's still, even though he knows that he has, he knows he lost the election, but he won't admit to it. No matter how much he's been through, he feels as if he hangs on long enough, he can get there. But this is also a card of saying, you know what? Hang on and get ready because we're a-coming. Because this is like the 9 of Wands. The next thing is the 10 of Wands, when all your responsibilities, all the bank loans and everything are going to come a-calling. So he is really up against it at this point. The people around him have the 7 of Wands, so they can taste the blood in the water. If you feel like Trump gets away with everything, that is true. If you feel like, my God, is there ever going to be justice done? Yeah, I feel the exact same way. But this, at least, is telling me that the people around, the people from the outside are looking in and going, we want something to happen. We want to get him. They are out to get him. And it's not just 1 or 2. There's several things that they're trying to settle on to him and make him accountable and responsible for. His worry is justice. How typical justice. His worry is justice. Karma coming for you, Trump? Is that what you're worried about? Are you worried about the karma coming, that you're finally going to get your paying? You're going to finally have to pay for all your bad deeds, for everything that you've done? Are you finally going to be accountable? Definitely. Like, as soon as I flip this card, I realize he's afraid of justice. I realize he's afraid of being accountable for getting in trouble and all that kind of stuff. His worst fear is justice, being put in jail and everybody finding out about what a real doofus this guy really is. But at the same time, there's an element of foreshadowing here that maybe, the fact that truth, wisdom, accountability, they're their biggest fear. That's what's going against him, is truth. The end result, 10 of Wands. The weight of the world is on Donald Trump's shoulders right now. This is coming to a head. Everything is coming. Everybody's nipping at his heels. And he has the weight of all those wands, and he's got to prioritize. He's got to get rid of some of them because he's not going to be able to keep going. He needs to let go of something. So is Putin and everything that's happened with Putin, sanctions and money affecting Trump? You betcha. Literally, follow the money trail. Follow the money trail and we will know what's happening. Why isn't anybody finally flipping on him? Why isn't anybody making him take accountability? Justice is there, but it's in his worries and fears. Oh, I'm so frustrated. It's so frustrating. But, at least it feels like it's starting to come to some, not end, but at least it's coming to some push, that we're coming to some acknowledgement of what he's done, and he's finally going to be held accountable. Whether he'll be found responsible, totally other thing. So for our next reading, I thought, let's have a look and see, why is Xi Jinping going to visit Saudi Arabia? Now, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has been ignoring Biden's calls. He's ignored the wish for increasing the oil production. And now he's going to be meeting with Xi Jinping. And I just want to know what is happening there. Like, just too much happening. There's just too much happening. So let's have just a quick read and ask, what does this mean? So let's pull a card for China. Temperance. So he's looking to compromise. He's looking to work together. China is looking for someone to work with. Saudi Arabia. Oh, no, no, no. 6 of Pentacles. So they're considering the situation. They're looking at it as an investment in the future. They're looking at it as a way of helping themselves. So China wants work and cooperation. Saudi Arabia wants to have a money deal. The result of this will be the Hierophant. The Hierophant. They need to keep aware of the world around them, that of how things have been, what is right. But then there's no higher religion than truth. And their truth and our truth are different. They're looking at it from their own perspective. What do we need? So they're going, they need to sell oil. They need oil. Coming together for resources, looking at their placement in the world and creating their own rules and regulations. This is not, this could be the beginning of a very undemocratic relationship. How will this affect the West, the U.S.? The Hermit. This feels like the U.S. is being, left out. The U.S. Joe Biden tried to get a hold of Mohammed and he wouldn't talk to him. He tried to get them to increase the oil supply to help. He didn't listen. So there's only so much that the U.S. can do. They can shine a light on it, but do they lose their principles in order to be able to deal with this? Like, they're sort of between a rock and a hard place. But now it's almost like they're trying to figure out, how can we get the U.S. and the West, take them out of the equation? Here's the equation of two of them getting together, creating their own new rules, and here it is, the effect. So now that we can see a possible relationship starting up, which would change the world, the economics, the everything. It could change the way we do business. And then we're looking at the West being cut out and left behind. So how is this going to affect the world at large? Oh no. This can cause a lot of problems in relationships within all the different countries. This could literally, not this specific situation, I don't mean this is going to be the cause of everything, but this situation, thinking to themselves, hey, we don't need the West. We don't need anybody's permission. We can work together. This could change everything, the way the world runs and who runs it and what money we use and the economics and the borders and the lines and the, dear God, we need our angels, don't we? We really, really do. Alrighty. Okay, so that was a reading, but like we always say, information is power. And when you know you can do something about it, you can change it. We need to be aware of all aspects, all sides, because whether you agree with it or not, if you don't pay attention to what's going on, it could truly affect our world. So we really need to be aware. That means coming to the table, having a conversation, having the hard conversation, and bringing up all aspects, whether we like them or not, so that we can move forward in a more positive way. I keep looking back at the cards because that was an uncomfortable reading. So anywho, my friends, my darlings, I wish you health and love and all kinds of good stuff. And as always, ow, I just poured wax on my finger. I really did, look. Anywho, now I got it on my table and everything. As always, I have our unity candle lit for each and every one of us. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, and do all that kind of good stuff. And especially comment, because I love reading the comments. I love getting ideas from my comments. So put a comment in where you may actually want a reading, or tell me something you'd like to do a reading about, and I'll look into it. All right, guys, take care. Cheerio.